What's up, everybody? Welcome to Friday. It is June 13th. Today, we're going to be talking about copycats. We're going to talk about how to deal with them, how to maneuver around them, and how to ultimately crush them. Crush them like the spineless little minions that they are. So it's going to be a good one. Hang in there. So as usual, what we want to do before we start on any type of subject is we want to find out what the definition of that. So I looked it up. It says a copycat is one that copies the behaviors, dress, or ideas of another and uses as their own. Copycat is it's a hard thing to deal with. When you work on something so much and so hard, you come up with your own original ideas and you put it out there and it starts to work and you start to have a little bit of an advantage. Now, I understand in competition, people are going to admire other people. I understand that they're going to look at different things that you're doing and either be impressed or they're going to try to duplicate. Now, when I see other people with new ideas, I look at them and, well, first off, it just depends on if I like them or not. Honestly, I like to be as honest as possible, but if I like them and I see something that they do personally, and I'm talking about business-wise, and you can use this straight across the board with whatever. If I like them, I'm like, dude, that was badass. That rocked it, man. They killed that. Now, if I don't like them, that's where this comes into play. You can either make the decision to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to do something better. I'm not going to utilize their idea. I'm going to go and make my own idea, but I'm going to make this better. I'm going to focus on myself getting better at something and present it to whatever audience that you have. And that's the way it should be, but that's not always the case. What I find, especially in this type of a market, this type of professional services, doing photography and video, there's a lot of different things out there. There's a lot of videos. You'll see people putting stuff. And yeah, it's okay to take someone's idea and build off of it. It's not okay to take someone's idea and reduplicate it to a T. Or their practices. Now, I do realize coming on here and sharing some of the stuff that I have, some of the stuff that I do is opening the gates to other people doing what I do. And there's so much that I do on a daily basis that we haven't even tapped into because I'm still trying to work on everything else, work on this platform, work on speaking better, but eventually I'll start to share that stuff. But for example, the other day I put a video out there that if blogs are dead, and how I utilize blogs. Well, wouldn't you know, today I wake up and boom, there's people doing blogs. And that's okay. That is great. But that's something that I have to realize. Hey, you know what? I'm putting this out there into the world. Yeah, you're going to get some of those spineless people that just do the same and take it in your own market, the ones that I know. But then you have an open field of different people that will learn from that and invest some time into that. So, it's a double-edged sword. And yeah, a lot of people say, hey, you know what, you should be flattered if someone uses your idea and takes it and puts it out there. And yeah, that's a great statement, But like we always try to be on this channel is just raw and authentic and true. It sucks. It irks you. It gets on your nerves and it pushes those buttons. But this video, my purpose of making it is on how to maneuver around them, because it's always going to happen, especially in photography. In your own local market, you're going to go find a spot and then use that spot and it's a beautiful thing. And then you're going to have all these other people come and take over that spot. For example, we had this one spot that was downtown Fort Worth. Beautiful chapel, beautiful. Arcs and everything. And we started shooting photos there. Granted, there's been other photographers there, but we utilized that place a lot. Well, what happened is people started asking, hey, you know what, where's that spot? And then you let them know. Well, wouldn't you know, they shut the whole place down. They stopped everybody from coming because people started disrespecting this place. This place was a church. And they had these huge arcs. Well, what they did now is, since all these photographers started going there and taking advantage of the space, leaving their trash, not respecting the people there, I had a beautiful communication with these people. I would go in and talk to them, and we had permission to go on there. These other people didn't. They just showed up, and they would show up with crews, with quinceañeras. When we do when we do their photo shoots, they don't just come alone. They come with their family. They come with their grandma, their grandpa, their father, their mother, their brothers, their sisters, their cousins, toda la familia. And everybody has like little chips and stuff like that to eat and drink. And yeah, you know what? You're not going to pick up all the trash. You're gonna leave something there. Well, that's what happened. And they fenced in the whole area. And that's what happens when you share some of these things. Like I said, it's a double-edged sword. Now, I'm going to give an example. Say I create, this guideline right here. Okay, and I put a lot of work into it, and I put it out there, and the next person goes and does the same thing. They go in there and do the same exact content that you did, the same everything down to a T. I mean, you look at this thing and you're like, dude, man, you either got every single thing off of my website, or what a lot of people do normally, especially with blogs. They'll take your blog, slap it into Chat GBT and say, hey, Chat, use this blog, but give me a new blog in my own words. And it's so obvious, or your own guideline, or if it's a 12-step program, or whatever the case is. And they'll put that out there. And if you're like me, you're very, if you're in depth into your local market, you know what everybody's doing. And I watch everything. I don't let it affect me, but I do make sure I stay in tune with what's going on. So their downfall is they put this stuff out there and then they just leave it. The way that you get around these people, because you're always going to deal with them, whether you know them personally or you don't know them personally, you take that piece of content and not just put it out there like you're some kind of god and everybody's going to go and read it. You take that piece of content and you slap it everywhere. By the time they put that one piece of content, you got it on Google Business Profile, you got it on Facebook, you got it on Instagram, TikTok, and all this other stuff. And that's how you maneuver, and you ultimately crush these people. That's the way I do it. When I think of these people, it just shows me a lack of originality. I tend to feel a little bit bad for them, Or these people that are like, hey, I got these new programs going on. I got sales, discount program, free this, free that, free this. Hey, come check me out. Please, 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 please. I'd rather stay the course. The other day, someone was saying, hey, you know what? Why don't you do like a sale on your packages that you have? Drop it down for like a one-time thing, and you'll get all these extra bookings. And I was talking to them. I'm like, hey, you know what? I don't want to do that. If someone is booking like crazy and they have like 16 or 18 bookings at this bonito, barato prices, one of my events will add up to like 4 or 5 of those. So why do I want to overwork myself to have the appearance of being overbooked? I'd rather be underbooked and have solid bookings that pay me what I'm worth, if that makes sense. I don't want to work. It's like, for example, if I decide to go back into the corporate world, I'm not going to go and push a mop for like $10 an hour. You know what I mean? With everything that I know, or my knowledge, my talents, or whatever the case is. I'm not going to devalue myself just so I can have the appearance of something. Now, as I'm trying to stay focused, I hear this mosquito in here, and it's like zzz, flying everywhere. I can hear it. It's like in my ear. The one thing I could tell you is do better. Don't be bitter about things. Take it. When I see something, I laugh. I'm like, oh yeah, all right, homie, watch this. Boom, 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 slap around. And that's how you get forward. Yeah, you know what? Someone's gonna watch this video and be like, hey man, that's kind of like, no, it's just my way of coping with someone in a way that I'm not how I used to be, if that makes sense. Like I said, I've had my anger issues. I've had different things. I used to be really explosive, really angry. Now I'm being more strategic. That's the word. So, copycats, you can't stop them. They're gonna be out there. Look, see that mosca just walked by. I mean, flew by here, walked by. I'm not gonna edit that because I want to leave this mosca in here. I'll get him afterwards. But with that, like I said, do better. Don't be bitter. Let them have their own lack of originality. Don't follow that crew of people. Dang, that stupid mosquitoes going around. Don't fall into that box. Admire from afar, give props, clap, laugh. Most of all, laugh at it. Be like, you know what, man? I can't believe that. And then just move on. You're only going to crush your competitors and your local market by staying positive, pushing the mark. One last big tip that I'll give you is the other day we were talking about the blogs and I dropped SEMrush. Well, this morning I got an email from SEMrush saying, hey, you know what? Do this and, we'll give you extra access to it. It's expensive. It's like almost $300 a month. So I left a little comment saying, hey, you know what? If SEMrush are watching this, hook a brother up. So I'm going to be using the full version of SEMrush. And I'll be talking about that in other videos. That right there is a competition destroyer. Because you're able to look into every aspect of what they have on their websites, your local market, and defeat these other people. Be in the top 3-pack of your local area. That's how you get around this stuff. Be everywhere and anywhere, or you're gonna end up like them, be nowhere. So just jumping and copying people left and right, shooting for the stars, trying to see if something hits and stays on the wall and gets them what they need. So that's my tip for today. Copycats, you can't do nothing about them. Let them be, let them go and mingle in their own little world of minions that's out there. And you just keep doing what you do. So until next time, deuces.